Welcome to New Frontier Cast. Today we're talking the agricultural update. Now, current events, and there's been quite a few. Thanks to Dakota, and I won't say his last name because I don't know if he wants to be publicly known, the server will be continued and online for, well, as long as he donates, because he donated, him alone, donated $10 a month on the Patreon. We're committed to that, and I mean, thank you, man. There's no benefits to putting in $10 a month. The highest benefits I've given is for people paying $5 a month. And he totally covered it, so we're good. It's not... Technically, I'm only getting 90% of what he's paying, though. So I'm not going to totally give in to starting to add to a budget with my own money yet. But that only needs one more person. I believe Waffles is looking into joining the Patreon, so... if things go out as planned, we're definitely going to have more than $10 a month by the time I'm heading back to college, and that means I'll be adding in some of my birthday money to the budget, and it's looking like we're going to have a decent budget, because I just got a letter. I haven't opened it yet. I have been waiting to open up my birthday letters, but I know I've got grandparents who are rather rich, we'll say that, and sometimes they give just a decent amount. And then sometimes for special things like graduation, they gave me an insane amount of money. And they might do that again because I turned 20. So I have no idea. We might have a budget of like $200. We might have something of, I'm not kidding, like $500 to $1,000. But we'll see about that because I haven't opened up any. So anyways, next week I will be gone. I'll be on vacation, and I may not have access to any computer, so I might have to have space basically take over and watch over the server while I'm gone. And that said, this weekend, let's push New Frontier Craft one final time, because basically after this weekend, I'll be gone on vacation, the next weekend after that, and then the weekend after that, I'll be heading back to school, and then the weekend back after that, I'm in school again. So, man, summer's closing up pretty quick for me. So this weekend I'll still be active and online, and let's push New Frontier Craft out again for one more wave before I head back to college. Let's see how that works out. Also, I want to make updates more frequent for New Frontier Craft because we've already had 2 super long updates that took an entire year to make, and I do not want to repeat that, even to the degree of like maybe, 6 months. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start releasing some smaller updates more frequently. Perhaps call them Secret Friday updates. And so 1.8.6 is not going to be a full rendering update because that might take a little while. I'm just going to be releasing some new things, like new slabs and upside down stairs, and something new that I've had an idea for that I first need to make sure is possible. And if it's possible, I'll be adding that in because it'll be easy if it's possible. But I'll keep quiet about that. So it's going to be small. It's just going to be small updates, maybe, once a month or every 2 months. And then we still have a constant feed of updates, which I think is necessary for New Frontier Craft to start growing well again. Anyways, let's get into the agricultural update. So, compared to literally every other medium to major idea we've had for New Frontier Craft, this is the most recent idea. So we have very little set in stone. We've got the industrial update, we've got weapons update, we've got ideas for biomes, ideas for new health systems. This agricultural update has only popped up in the past month or 2. So we'll basically be coming up with ideas in this podcast for what could be inside of it. But to give it basic platforms to build ideas off of, let me say what I do want to do in this update. I want to add a lot more new vegetation, obviously. Some of it will be just decorative, like flowers, maybe a new type of tree, but most of it's going to be for food. They will not be straightforward, kind of like how I made the metals, where it's not just like a linear progression. Like, it's not all going to be like wheat. They're all going to have their own little aspects to them, just to give it more variety. I also think it'll be really cool to see them in the terrain, because I do want to add a decent amount of new colors into the natural terrain through this, like, maybe a blueberry bush, or grapes, or I don't know. Still, again, we don't have very much solidified, but I think it'll be a nice way to add in some color, just sprinkled in here and there into the terrain. I'll be rewriting how growth works, so then in order to fertilize something, you won't be right-clicking a plant and it just instantly grows. That will be done away with. What you'll be doing is you'll be right-clicking bone meal into, or fertilizer, any type of fertilizer I might add, into hoed ground. What is it called? Farmland. You will be putting fertilizer into that to grow plants faster, and you could do it multiple times. So you could add like 4 fertilizer to a piece of farmland. It'll grow faster than if it had 1 or 0. And what's next? Animals. I might change animals up a bit because I'm probably going to have vegetation a little bit more common. And I also want animals to be more valuable. Like, right now, they only... like, if you find an animal, they drop, like, 1 or 2, like, leather, or sometimes a pork chop. I want them to drop, a decent amount of stuff when you kill them, but that said, they're going to become more rare. So then you'll have to go out hunting for animals. And I might also have it so that... I might add the reproduction system that Modern has. I think it's a decent idea. I don't know... I'll have to test the consequences of that for a little while, depending on how much more animals give off. So that's also in question. So that's really all the ideas I've had for this, and our guest today is RegencySolid. You might know him as Rich or Dick on the server. How's it going, Reg?
Hi, how's it going? I'm okay.
I'm doing pretty good. Just finished up another long day of painting, but I'm scratching off paint as we talk off my arm. Anyways, any thoughts on just immediate thoughts you have written down or in mind?
A lot of the stuff I had written down was similar to what you had, but just listening to you list a lot of the stuff just gets me really excited, even though it's not set in stone at the moment.
I mean, this is basically set in stone. I mean, it might be some tweaks, but I think these are really good ideas for a good platform for just... I'm building a new health system, really.
Yeah.
And I think it could be really improved. So, yeah, one big thing I have in mind that I'm probably definitely going to do, and I probably should have said in my bullet points I have written down here, is one way that you can have your farm instantly fertilized with a value of 1, so like as if you just put 1 bone meal into it, is if you hoed the farmland from grass. So if you hoed the farmland from dirt, it'll have 0. It will not have any fertilizer, but if you had grass grow over it and then hoe it, it'll have fertilized of 1. Yeah. So then regrowing a field of grass and then with 1, but of course then you'd have to wait. You'd have to wait for the grass to just naturally spawn. You can't do anything about making that faster. Which I think would be
a lot like crop rotation.
Yeah,
kind of.
And like it's just I kind of want to simulate that, like you're letting your field kind of regrow back, so then nutrients get back into the field. If you don't want to do it by just let's say you have a massive farmland, you probably can't keep it up with fertilizer very well. So you could just kind of dig up all the dirt and just place it down again as normal dirt, let the grass regrow back or kind of like the vegetation come back in, and then farm it because basically nutrients are back into it. That's kind of the idea for that.
Sounds pretty good.
So, one thing that we could just talk about is what could be the vegetation in Minecraft. That's the one thing, or New Frontier Craft. That's the one thing I've put very little thought into. I definitely want to add a blueberry bush. That's one thing I've come up with recently that I think would be cool.
Yeah. But the berry bushes, I think, definite. Yes.
Everything else, I have no idea. I've thought of apples, but I'm not quite sure how I'd want to add that in. I don't even know if I want to. I mean, I'm totally back and forth with apples right now because they're a rare thing in Minecraft, but at the same time, you never see them in Minecraft, so they're kind of pointless, and they're just 2 hearts worth of health. So I'm not quite sure what to do with apples.
Well, you know how Minecraft, it's got a lot of random stuff in it, like cocoa beans. That's pretty random. So you could.
Alright, I'll see you guys. Bye.
Random ideas, I guess.
This is going well. So I know in Modern, don't they have it that apples drop from trees rarely? Like sometimes you just get an apple from a tree, or is that
well,
wrong?
it's not quite rare anymore. Like with modern, they've made a lot of things just not rare anymore.
Huh. That's
Like
interesting.
craftable and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I might be able to add is pumpkins. Be able to grow that. I know they add that in modern, obviously, but
Yeah.
what other crops have they added in modern?
Modern, they have the melons. They have beetroot, which is a weird one.
Yeah, that does sound weird.
Carrots and potatoes, and I think that's it.
Do carrots and potatoes versus wheat have anything different, or are they all just about the same? They just give you different health or something?
Potatoes, you can't eat them like raw. You have to cook them. Carrots, you eat raw, but they're like not very.
They're not very what?
They're not very good. They're not very like.
Okay. So, like, is there any difference in how fast they grow or anything? I'm just curious how modern has it set up.
I think it's just exactly the same. There's no like in depth.
That's not how New Frontier Craft's gonna work. I've had ideas for certain plants like potatoes being able to grow with very little fertilizer, like at a decent pace, versus something like sugarcane that might grow very fast with fertilizer and very slow with no fertilizer. So, like, I don't want to make it super complex, but basic enough that you can just remember it. Be like, oh yeah, sugarcane grows fast with a lot of fertilizer, or potatoes don't need anything and they always grow about the same speed, even if you add fertilizer. Or blueberry bushes need a lot of fertilizer, or wheat just is linear, where less fertilizer kind of grows slow, more fertilizer kind of grows fast. Stuff like that, where just a little bit of variety between all the plants, to give them a little bit of a different purpose. So,
there's one thing,
another thing
that I wanted to suggest, and I'm pretty sure it would be pretty easy to do, and it's kind of it's in like the same topic. In modern, they have it. Well, they have it so you can plant sugarcane on sand. I miss that very much.
Unfortunately, I think currently as it is in the game, sugarcane is just way too overpowered. It's just anything having to deal with sugarcane just gets oversaturated because there's so much of it, and it becomes really valueless. So I'm actually going to have sugarcane. It's going to grow. I mean, I guess I could have it be placed on sand, and I see no problem with that. But I'm going to have sugarcane really need fertilizer or like not grow at all. So you can place it on normal dirt, but normal dirt doesn't have any fertilizer or metadata, and it will grow almost none at all. So if you actually want to grow sugarcane, you can just do it in your farmland with just add in a bunch of fertilizer and just sprout right up.
Like that idea, like placing it on sand but not having it grow.
Yeah, because I mean, just like adding in fields of sugarcane is fun, but now it's not like this is going to continuously reproduce, because I think that it's just, even on the New Frontier Craft server right now, you can just occasionally find just a huge bay of sugarcane. It makes it so saturated of just too much of it.
Yeah.
So.
I had one suggestion that I wrote down. Think about planters, like 4 flowers, really.
4 flowers?
Yeah, you could, I guess, grow flowers, maybe, in the planters.
In the planters?
Yeah. Or just, well...
I mean, I guess I could use... Yeah, you know what? I actually don't think that's a bad idea to add, like, a block of just a pot with a flower in it. Because they have that in modern, right?
Yeah, they do.
And that's not a bad idea at all. That's just decorative.
Yes,
so, you know what? I'll do that. I think I don't know when I'd add that, but that sounds like a solid idea. And reproducing flowers in a potted plant is that what you suggested?
Like opposed to the bone meal on grass, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to figure out how to balance that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could just have it so that you put in a flower in a pot, and then just over time, slowly, it might just grow another flower in that pot or two, and then you can harvest that, and then replant just one flower. I don't know. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Because growing flowers out in like a giant farm, I don't know about that. So I think you got a point there.
Yeah. Especially with the lighting glitches in 1.7.3 Minecraft, where you plant it down and it just.
Yeah, I would probably just have to try to fix that.
Yeah.
If I end up doing that, but I really don't think I will, because I don't know. Just seeing like a field of flowers being reproduced, I don't know. That sounds really weird. So might just have something more. I don't know. You know what? I might actually research that online, because I have no idea how they make flowers in real life.
Yeah, I have no clue. It's pretty weird, really.
Yeah, just imagine adding in flower seeds, like rose seeds. That'd be so weird. But maybe that's how I'll do it. I don't know. What was another idea I've had?
You said something about more trees.
I've actually put in a decent amount of thought into, if I added in one new type of tree, what would it be? And I've never come to a conclusion. I've thought of like a great oak tree, where like the wood might be a little darker, and kind of maybe a little bit richer in saturation, and like it always grows a really big tree. And you'd find these occasionally in a forest. Well, I know I've had another idea before. I've had an idea of maple. I don't know if that's what the normal tree is called in Minecraft. Oh, the normal tree is oak. So
Yeah.
I would add maple, where it'd actually be like, I believe maple trees are kind of red. They have red leaves, if I'm not mistaken. At least I know I've got a maple tree in my backyard that has red leaves. That'd be kind of interesting to find here and there. Like, it's not super red. It's like a brown red.
That's something as well. I'd really like to see different colored leaves and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've made texture packs where you just edit the leaves colors, and I made it like fall looking, and the maple tree would kind of stand out, because I don't know how I do that. But I'm talking about those lines. Now that I mentioned that 1.8.6 might just be a little update, I really need to figure out if I gotta add in texture packs for 1.8.6 or the next update. No, I'm gonna stick to 1.8.6 for texture packs, because I know people really want to add texture packs in New Frontier Craft properly.
Yeah.
So, in terms of like trying to make the game run better, that's the stuff that's going to be kind of hard. That might be 1.8.7, and I'll just kind of push things back. And in all honesty, like, I feel like this agricultural update is going to be big enough that it might actually be basically New Frontier Craft 1.9, like the first major update after 1.8.
That sounds really cool.
I mean, I was planning 1.9 to be in the industrial update, but I might hold off on that, because that's also going to be really complicated, and I feel like I need some more experience before I do that. Dude, I really wish I could take the wire. I still am trying to figure out, like, in the back of my mind, I'm trying to figure out code for wires in New Frontier Craft, because they work in Industrial Craft, and in my mind, I have no idea how he did it. Like, watching how his machines work, I have no idea how it's coded, and I don't want to take his code. I don't want to take it immediately. I want to make it a last resort to go up to him and be like, "Hey, could I use your code?" And if he says no, then I don't know what I'm going to do. So,
Change the numbers.
what'd you say?
It's not stealing if you change the numbers.
I don't know about that one. Dude, I'm tempted to go back to ask the guy who created Optifine if I could still use his. I might even ask. I've been thinking, because now we're getting, a little bit of a budget together for New Frontier Craft, if I should tempt him with a little money. Be like, dude, if you allow me to use Optifine just integrated with New Frontier Craft, I'll give you 10 a month. It's better than, I mean, that'll be worth him getting like, 10,000 clicks in 1 year. Not even that, because I'd be paying him 120 a year. Which that's a lot. I don't know. I'm back and forth with this, but 120. I mean, dude, if it makes New Frontier Craft great, I don't know. I might have to tempt him with a little cash money and see if he allows me to use Optifine in his thing. Because I believe, if I'm correct, the only reason he denied me is because then people wouldn't have to go to his download site, and he has ads on his download site. And I mean, beta 1.7.3 is still popular, so again, this is all assumptions, but I think that's why he denied me, because he didn't want me just to integrate it and then people play New Frontier Craft and he doesn't get anything out of that. So I might just be like, dude, I'll give you the money that's like worth hundreds of thousands of people clicking your ad, and it would just be irrefutable in that case. But because ads are crap now.
Wouldn't there be a way around that though? Like by making NFC like compatible with Optifine, so people would still have to go download it.
I mean,
but they could just install it over.
This is going into a gray area that I'm not entirely sure, that I should research once I start, going into the graphics area, because I haven't gotten into the graphics quite yet. Yeah, before I touch anything with the graphics, I'm going to see if maybe what I could do, because what I could do is just have people download the, Optifine version G for 1.7.3 and just set it right next to their installer, and the installer will pick it up and be like, aha, okay, I'll install Optifine. And that could be a legal way of doing it.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I don't know, there's so many things that might go wrong there. Like, if he renames the file, then suddenly all the installers will stop working, or some people download the wrong thing. I don't know. I have no idea. It's a weird area to go into. But I guess people aren't super stupid when it comes to New Frontier Craft, because I did have it in New Frontier Craft for a little while at one point. It just wasn't fully integrated. It was a separate install, but it made the install like 7 minutes long. But I guess I do have the automatic installer now, so you know what? I'm just talking to myself if I should do this or not. Anyways, let's transfer back to the agricultural update. Just some more ideas for food we could add in, and just name a couple of random fruits or vegetables and see if they're. I don't want to add in too many, but enough that there's variety.
Yeah. Well, I think with the like berry bushes, you should add a couple of variations, maybe.
Yeah. There could be blueberries. I've thought of strawberries.
That'd be nice.
Or maybe are they blackberries? Like they're literally just blackberries, if that's what they're called. Yeah. Yeah. There's the phone is named after that, BlackBerry.
And raspberries.
Raspberries. I mean, that'd be very close to strawberries. They all might actually be like identical in how they operate. It's just they give different colored fruits. I don't know. Just so then it's not crazy complexity just between berries.
Yeah.
I've thought of. I mean, I could add an apple tree. I think an apple tree would actually look really nice in the terrain. Like it might have a tree that flowers, and I think that would be kind of cool.
Like. Right. Apple trees remind me a lot of beta Minecraft.
Yeah, they kind of do. So, you know what? Maybe I'll add in apples. There's also orange trees. Ooh. And I've heard the rumor that oranges aren't actually orange, and that's just kind of sprayed orange because they're normally green today, just because green oranges grow faster or something. And I don't know. I have to research that. I might be completely insane. Because if that's the case, I'm always tempted not to add oranges, because I'd just be like, oh yeah, this is how they are in real life, and they're actually not that, and industries just put a little gas in them and turn to orange.
That sounds good to me.
But I'll probably add oranges, because I think, add an orange fruit. I've just been kind of going across the rainbow for yellow. I mean, the idea of the banana immediately pops up in mind, but I don't really want to do a banana because I don't know why. I don't think it fits beta.
Doesn't sound right.
At the same time, bananas are all just clones in real life, and they're not at all what they used to be. Oh, corn. There we go. Corn. That's totally something I could add in New Frontier Craft.
Sounds good.
Because
Maybe
corn would basically be the food that just wants fertilizer. But once you give it fertilizer, it grows insanely fast because that's how it is in real life. At least as it is now, as it's very heavily modified. Like it'll be, if you have a lot of fertilizer, corn will grow so fast compared to anything else. So it'll be like fast food, instant food, basically, when you have fertilizer. I mean, not super instant, but... What'd you say? Oop, I'm not hearing you.
Oh, how about grapes? What about grapes?
Yeah, I mean that's purple. What would I do with
green
grapes? Green grapes. You know what? Well, we do have variety of berries. Maybe we could add a variety of grapes. So we could have green and purple. And it'd just be like green or more rare or something. Just as a little Easter egg.
Just something more to do.
I'm thinking, how would I add grapes? I mean, it might be one of the things that you do not grow on a field, and you could actually plant it like next to a tree or something, and it would like start growing into the tree and produce grapes. Dude, that's actually a really intriguing idea.
Yeah, sounds good.
You could like infect trees with grapes. What else is there? So that's purple, and it's also green. Dude, there's all the colors of the rainbow. Taste the rainbow. Dude, all that
skills.
Let's see. So we've basically got red, we've got orange, we've got some yellow, we've got green, blue, blueberries, purple, grapes, brown, cocoa beans. What should I do with cocoa beans?
To grow them, or?
Yeah. And in modern, don't you like plant them?
You plant them on jungle trees.
Yeah. I don't know how they're actually
Good.
grown.
Are
they also a vine? Like in real life, do you know?
I don't know, actually. I have no clue how they're grown in real life.
I mean, I know coffee beans are... I believe that's actually a tree.
Or maybe it's the same. I'd assume so. Of like I guess a variation of the apple tree. But
yeah,
pears,
I mean,
maybe.
Ooh, pears. That's actually a really good idea. That's a good idea for a green one. What was I about to say? I now I think of it, I don't know. I don't know if cocoa beans are actually a tree per se.
No clue.
Dude, maybe... I mean, maybe I won't even have those edible. They still might just be dungeon find.
Fact that
I'll be adding in
rare.
more dungeons slowly. So, they might just become more common and actually be able to be used as some form of resource once I have more dungeons in the game. Oh, let's see. Any other ideas I've had? Or that you have? Anything else you've got written down?
Well, I'm not sure if it comes under this update, but any machines to do with, like, farming?
Yes, I do want to add in some form of automatic farmer. It'll require just constant power of it sitting there. So it is going to be a little bit costly. If you've got the extra power, you can have it sit there and then harvest the food and then plant a new one in its place if it has some in its inventory. But the problem is you could just do that yourself, and if you're really lazy, you could just turn it on. It'll just slowly drain power, even while it just sits there and monitors the plant. But yeah, that's basically what I've got planned.
Oh, Got it all figured out.
Dude, I just during like painting or something, I just in the back of my mind, I always think about these things.
It gets like that when you're working.
Yeah. Is there anything else that I was going to add in farming connected to machines? I don't think so. I think that'll just kind of cover everything. Where it'll just be like you set it next to, even if it's like a, an apple tree, it'll just sit next to one of the leaves and pick off apples as they come, if it grows.
No, I had a bad idea in my head. I had the idea of needing shears to like trim off grapes or berries or something like that.
Nah, that would get annoying. I don't think that's necessary. I mean, you basically in real life just go up and pick an apple. So
Yeah.
that's like going outside and using scissors to get apples off trees. Like it's actually hilarious now I think about that.
Yeah, though.
Let's see.
Would you like new tools at all?
In the farming update, this is where the hoe actually starts to get a use. I don't know if I want to. I actually might even change the name of it, but that's unlikely. I might call it a scythe or something like that. I mean, it basically looks the same as a scythe. It's just the hoe will just be your farming tool. So if you do not use your hoe, and let's say you have, wheat, and this is another area I could give variety where some foods don't need the hoe to be mined. But like wheat, you would want your hoe to harvest the wheat with, or it's not actually going to give you any wheat. It'll just give you seeds.
Maybe to do with farming. Yeah.
So
well,
then,
sorry.
then the hoe would have not only a use, but like there would be a use for having higher tier hoes, because let's say sometimes that gives you a higher chance of getting wheat from a crop. So that's not like you're just currently I just do nothing but build stone hoes because there's no reason not to, because that's just wasting metals. Unless sometimes I build a metal hoe just when I feel like okay I've got too many metals, I'm just gonna build a metal hoe because I have so many metals. But anyways,
Aren't they two different tools though?
a scythe. I believe. The hoe is kind of a flat, and it's kind of, in a sense, perpendicular to you, whereas a scythe is like straight in line with you. But they're both like a piece of metal strapped to a pole.
Yeah, I could say that for all the
So-
tools though, really.
Yeah, and I'm more. I mean more of a like a planar piece of metal with kind of a sharp end.
Yeah.
So a pickaxe is not really like a plane. It's like a spike, and that's you don't really harvest food with a spike, but you harvest food using flat edges on poles. All right.
So
Anything else? I might. What?
I've seen like scythes used to cut grass and stuff like that. So I was thinking like use a scythe to harvest wheat and stuff.
Yeah, I might just kind of make that the hoe, because the hoe in Minecraft kind of looks like a scythe at the same time. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
it
really
does.
look like it's something that's made to dig down. It just looks like, I don't know, piece of metal on a pole. So, yeah. Anything else? Because I might wrap up the podcast here.
I think that's it.
Alrighty. Thanks for being with me, Rich.
Nice being you.
I hope to see you on that server.